Hello, welcome back to the Shintaro Higashi Show with Peter Yu. Today we have a very special guest, Tammi Musumeci. She's a multiple-time world champion at every belt level, right? So that means white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt. You won the worlds at every single level. Is that right, Tammy?
Not white, but every other belt and every
Okay, all
yeah.
right. The ones that matter, right?
Yes.
Blue and above. Okay, so that's amazing. So how does that feel,
Feel
being
for
that accomplished?
it feels pretty cool. It feels like that was important for my brother and I to try to win at every belt level because I felt like we accomplished what we needed to at that belt level, you know? That's what
Yes,
I
yes,
felt like
yes.
was something that was more of a goal, like a personal goal. So it was pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. What an accomplishment. Winning the worlds at any level is very, very difficult. So that's incredible. So let's start the interview off with the question about your family life because you come from a family of grapplers, correct?
Yeah.
And it all starts with your father who was a grappler.
Yes. So he grew up boxing and then when we moved to New Jersey, when we lived in New Jersey, when we were born, when he moved to New
Yeah.
Jersey, he started doing Muay Thai kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. So that's
Mm.
how we got into it as well.
Oh, nice, nice, nice. So as a kid, like he took you to the jiu-jitsu school and all right, this is what you're gonna do, or was it like sort of a part-time hobby, like once or twice a week thing? Like tell us about your jiu-jitsu journey.
Okay, so my dad started training when we were really, really young. So at first it started off as he would go to the gym and he would watch him, but then my
Yeah.
brother and I wanted to do it. So then my parents signed us up. Af I'd say until we were around, like, till Mikey was probably around 10, 11, and I was around, like, more 12, 13. That's when we started doing it more than, like, just an after-school activity.
Nice. So did you feel like you had a knack for it right off the bat? Like, oh man, I'm so good at this thing. Like, no one could touch me in the class. I'm smoking everyone. Or was it something you had to work hard at? Or like, tell us a little bit about your initial perception of the jujitsu in the sport.
So I think, like, it definitely wasn't, like, one of those, "Oh, I'm definitely, naturally gifted, I'm doing great." I
Yeah.
definitely had to work hard at it. I felt, though, that it was kind of it's interesting, like, even you'll see, like, nowadays with even the juvenile kids going up to adult, the when you're a kid doing it from really young, I feel like it gives you the benefit because you're competing for a lot of years, and also, like, especially when you reach your teenage years, the kids
Yeah.
are really good. So,
Oh,
there was, like, a time, though, when before I was, like, juvenile, like, I never fought juvenile, but, like, a teenager to, like, starting to fight blue belt adult, that I
yeah.
did see how, like, the years of experience do help, you know? But I
Yeah.
definitely wasn't a natural at it, I'd say from the beginning. I had to kind of find my way in it too to see what would work for me. Like when I was 12, I remember I would start running and doing other, exercise to realize, oh, if I do this, it will help my jujitsu. So,
Yeah. So when you were growing up, right, were you any part of you like, oh, all my friends are doing soccer or like field hockey, like maybe I want to do that? Like, were you ever pulled to another sport? Because I know a lot of teenagers lose, you know, to like some of the more mainstream sports and after school activities when they're grapplers. Did you have any of that?
so thankfully, when we were growing up, like I said, until, we were about teenagers, it was more of an after school activity.
Okay.
So we did get to experience playing all different sports, like
Nice. What did you play?
soccer. I remember playing. I played basketball, but I was actually really good at softball, which is pretty cool.
Nice. What
Yeah,
position did you play?
catcher.
Oh, that's a cool
Yeah,
one. So that's good for your legs. You need mobility, right?
yeah,
You need to be explosive off the pitch. So that's like kind of goes with jiu-jitsu. It's kind of like jiu-jitsu, right?
kind of. I feel like yeah, it's cool because I remember I was like the only one, like for example, on my team when I played with, I was able to sit in that position because of jiu-jitsu.
Yes. Yes. And you and your brother are known to be very mobile people, right? So you guys have
Um, well, Mikey's mobile. I'm built more like a heavyweight guy, but in the small girl body.
yeah.
I'm not that
Yeah.
mobile, but
All right. So what happened after like when you started taking it seriously? Like you guys moved to Florida?
yeah. So I think that's played a big role in like
Mm,
our training because when we lived in New Jersey, we were still living kind of like, we were doing after school activities and different, I mean, we were still doing jujitsu and stuff, but we had other stuff going on. when we moved to Florida, it was a new place with new people. So I felt like jiu-jitsu was the one thing that kind of stayed consistent. So we kind of both took to that.
Nice. How old were you when you guys moved to Jersey? Florida?
So I was 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And your brother's a year or two younger than
Yeah,
you?
he's 2 years. So he was 11.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know and who doesn't watch grappling, like Mikey Musumeci is one of the champions right now on one UFC card, right? The one FC card, and he's a great grappler as well, right? So did you used to beat on your brother a little bit when you guys were kids?
Oh, yeah, I used to a lot until
Oh
he,
man.
because I was bigger, you know? And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
once he got bigger, that kind of, that ended.
No. All right. So you're in Florida now, you're training. Um, how did it progress? Like what happened? Like, give me some things in your personal progression there. Right. I know like, down the line you became a lawyer, you have a full blown career. Like how did that all fall into place? Like talk more about that. You're like teenage years
Okay.
as grappler.
So when we moved to Florida, we started training at a great under Gracie Baja under instructor
Okay.
Marcelo Rivero. And I felt like that was a really cool experience because he was kind of one of the first times you really saw someone that was like super, super technical, you know? Like
Mm.
his emphasis on technique was really cool. But also besides that, he was very into the kids program. And he kind of, I think, started us with, doing workouts and like how to complement jujitsu in that way.
Mm.
So that was,
Nice.
then we started training under Amir Lusad, and that like also took it to a new level because he also took to the kids, like would teach the kids. And he also started us on like doing pull-ups and also encouraged us to eat healthy in addition to
Yeah.
everything. But it was also an environment that was very good, like encouraging competing, which was pretty cool.
Mm.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So, I fought boys up until I was 16 only,
Mm.
pretty much. There
Yeah.
were
That's
maybe
pretty cool.
one or two girls I competed against, but up until then, I'd say 95, 96, like maybe even 99% guys I competed against. So, I started when I was 15. I started doing like adults divisions at normal tournament because
Yeah.
like the instructor Shark Amir Bursaki, he would put me into those tournaments.
Adult men?
No, female.
Oh, I was about to say, I
Yeah.
was like, oh man, that's nuts.
And then,
Yeah.
I remember I did like a grapplers class and I competed
Yeah.
against this girl and I tapped her twice. Like pretty, like I cast her guard and tapped
Yeah.
her. And it turned out like, Cyborg actually said, he's like, oh, that's he just won Pan Am's in blue belt adult in your division.
Mm. Yeah.
So like, then that kind of like, everyone kind of from the gym would do those tournaments, but I was also 15 and I didn't really know of worlds or anything like that. So I feel like that's the thing that encouraged me then to go to World, which then I was able to win blue belt adult worlds at that point, like a few months later. So I think that also kind of encouraged the IBJJF because at that point, we never really saw anything like that. Like, because
Yeah, for sure.
you go back like, when was this? Like you go back like to the 2000s, like in America, like early 2000s stuff, like the competition scene was way different than how it is now.
Oh yeah, it's so much more popular now, right?
Yeah, and you have so many different areas, like different tournaments. Like even now, ADCC has tournaments. IBJJF has like a new one every weekend. And
Yeah, they have the IBJJF Open Series, right? Wherever
here,
you are, Houston, Denver, all that
yeah,
stuff.
and IBJJ, yeah, and Abu Dhabi, like just so even like local tournaments now are so crazy. But back in that day, they were kind of like on wrestling mats and like an
Yeah,
old gym.
wow. Yeah, yeah.
So,
So did you train all throughout there? Do you still train there, or are you in a different gym now?
oh no, I live in Vegas.
Oh, you're in Vegas?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. So when I moved to Vegas for law school, and then
Okay. And how long ago was that?
7 years ago,
Oh,
2016.
wow. Okay. And then did you train jujitsu all throughout law school?
Yes, I did. The first year
Nice.
was a little harder to train because I was getting used to things. But
Yeah.
I was able to compete. Like was able to compete a bunch. But then I was able to win
Mm.
Black Belt World in my second year of law school, which is pretty cool.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah. Were you kind of like a little star at when you go to your class, it'd be like, oh my God, Tammy's, just one world and with the thing, or people were just like, ah,
I don't really talk to people about it, and also I don't have social media, so thankfully nobody knows.
you don't have social media?
No.
Wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
interesting. I know you just came up on Mikey's Instagram saying like, hey, welcome back to competition, my sister, Tammy. I don't know if you know that he posted, I'm sure you did know. He's like, welcome back to the competition. Does that mean that you took a hiatus from competition for a little while recently?
No. When did he write that?
Huh, recent.
Yeah, I've been
Tammy.
competing pretty consistently since 2021. The only time I took off was because of COVID. There were no tournaments. But
Oh, maybe that's what he's referring to.
yeah.
It says it's a post that says Tammy is back. Oh no, sorry, this is 2021. What am I
Oh,
talking about? This is a long time ago. Yeah.
I was like, did I
I
retire
don't
and I
know.
didn't know about it?
You know what? Maybe like it's one of those things like Instagram's pushing your content, Mikey's content to me now that we're gonna do this thing, and I was looking it up. Maybe that's why they're pushing it now, and I got confused. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
you're good. You're good.
Yeah. All right. So how do you juggle being full blown? What kind of law do you practice?
I do family now. Okay.
Family
Yeah,
law? Oh, that's pretty cool.
I'm a law clerk for a family court judge. Yeah.
Oh,
I,
nice. All right. So you're one of the good ones then. All right, so you're doing that, and then how do you juggle your career as a law professional and then doing your training? Like that's got to be a lot, you know?
yeah, it is definitely difficult. It's certain times it's more difficult than others. Like, I have to fit it in. Like this morning, I did cardio before work, and I'm at work now. Usually, during my lunch breaks, I'll try to take a break, and well, it's not really a break. It's like a 20-minute walk just to clear my head, and then
Yeah.
after I just train at night. So
Okay, it's usually the nighttime training then.
yeah, I usually have like a
Okay.
night, which sometimes that's why sometimes I get a little overwhelmed, but I'm trying to manage that.
Yeah. So that's your training schedule. Okay, so that kind of works, right? You do a little bit of a morning
Yeah,
workout, you go to work, and you train at
yeah.
night. Nice. So what are you working on right now in terms of like grappling? Like, what is your style like? For those who haven't watched, because I know a lot of my listeners are judo related, grappler related, kind of like a generalized grappling community. So if they haven't watched one of your matches, like if you want to say, hey, this is my style, this is my game, this is what I'm really good at, like how would you explain it?
Definitely a guard player. I feel like I have like a pressure passing
Mm,
style as well, which
okay.
is a little different. I feel from like the smallest people, but
Nice.
yeah, it takes more a guard player, and I usually like to say I'm what is it, a knockoff version of Mikey. Yeah, at least I try to be.
Okay. All right. So what kind of guard do you play?
I try to play like all different types. It depends on like what we're doing at the moment, like Deli Hiva, reverse Deli Hiva, closed guard, like that kind of stuff.
Okay. So like the
Yeah,
classics.
yeah.
Nice. Is there something that you say like that distinguishes your grappling, that's outside of the norm of like regular De La Hiva players, reverse De La Hiva guard players?
Um, I feel like I also like to um incorporate like more of like a closed guard as well into situations, which I think is cool,
Hmm.
and also play a lot of omoplatas. I feel something different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds great. So you're working on anything specifically coming up for this fight? You have a competition against Amanda Alequin, right? Tubby, as
Yeah.
they say.
Funny thing is, Tubby and
It's
I
on
are
July
like actually
14th.
really good friends.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's even better. Yeah. And you guys competed against each other twice
Yeah.
already?
We used to train together a lot too. But no, nothing, just normal training, like normal, just keeping in shape, doing my normal stuff.
Okay. So you're not trying to like, get ahead of it by watching her matches or anything like that and trying to do a specific thing specifically for her.
No,
You don't do any of that kind
I
of a
feel
thing.
like I do better when I don't like overthink it, and I just do my own thing. If I start to overthink about what they're gonna do, I can kind of get nervous.
Okay. Do you have a big takedown game as well, or are you gonna pull guard or?
I mean, now we have to do takedown. I feel like I have like a wrestling base. I feel, and I've been working
Hmm.
it. If I'm able to pull guard, I usually will pull guard. But I mean, I feel like I do have like even at Nogi Worlds in 2022, I was able to hit like a back take off of a takedown. So
Oh,
yeah,
very nice.
just have to.
Takedown's great. So, how do you supplement your takedown game? Do you do judo, wrestling? I'm a judo guy. I'm biased towards that. Like, do you have any? How do you supplement? Do you just do takedowns or in jiu-jitsu
Yeah, I would
or?
just do takedowns or jiu-jitsu. I always liked wrestling more.
Yeah,
Judo,
wrestling's
I didn't
fun.
like getting thrown a lot. I'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
honest.
I don't think even judo guys like getting thrown. That's a problem. All right, so let's talk a little bit about like female grapplers with like, you said you have a friendship with Tubby. I know, grappling in women is really up and coming. I know for a fact, like judo in Japan for women has always been a big thing. Now wrestling in Japan for women is growing immensely because of their
Yeah, I
success.
think
But I think internationally,
wasn't like
that-
yeah, I think Japan has like one of the best wrestling teams for the females, right? And even
yes, they're
yeah.
unbelievable. And they have like Japanese women's dedicated training centers, where they have a coach just for the women's team. It's no longer this thing like you go to training with the men's team or whatever it is, and there's like 3 or 4 women there. It's not like that anymore. I mean, there are places like that, but there's dedicated women's spaces for training. And so it's really picking up steam. I know for a fact jujitsu as well. Can you talk a little bit more about like women's grappling and the growth in the sport?
Yeah, I mean, going back to Japan and stuff, even Rikako, she was really big from Japan. I don't know. Do you know who that is? Yeah,
Yeah, sounds
she
familiar. Yeah.
was I think she won worlds 3 times in black belt.
Hmm.
She was very big. She was like one of the best girls at that lighter weight camp, and she's from Japan.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like it's kind of night and day from where that was. I mean, if that back when I started, like I'm telling you, I fought
Yeah.
like mostly guys, and when I say mostly, like probably 99% guys up until I was 16.
Yeah.
So I mean, that pretty much says something. Then you'll pull like girls today. I don't think they'll ever even have that problem.
Yeah. I mean, was that uncomfortable for you growing up? Or
I think
how was
I
that?
honestly didn't think anything of it because it was just the norm.
Nice, nice. And now you have a lot of female training partners as well?
Oh no, actually, you just not really. I yeah,
Okay.
I'm kind of like a fan of using what I feel work, and I typically like training with the guys. So I feel like
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Very cool. So do you have any advice to like younger grapplers, specifically like women grapplers that are trying to like make it in the sport, whatever that may be, yeah, whatever that may be. Like, do you have any advice for younger women grapplers coming up?
I'd say like, I mean, I feel like grappling is one of those things that you could have like a really good day, and then the next day could be a bad day. Like I feel like even the best have had like, I don't know, but like I think even the best, just it's they're still human. You could go in and you could be like, wait, what am I doing? I forgot it. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's just
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like a big battle I feel that I have, and I feel like probably most people have, where it you have to like kind of like go with the flow of things, not let that get you down.
Uh,
So I feel like that would be like
True, true, true.
advice to anyone is that as long as you're training and you're trying, you're gonna get better and not to feel
Yeah.
overwhelmed or stressed about that.
What percentage of the time do you think you have like a great workout versus like, oh man, today's grappling session was so so? Like, what percentage?
Um, well, it depends. Sometimes I'll go through periods where like I'll have like a good week and then like bad few
Mm,
days, and other days I'll have like where the whole week is bad and one good day. It depends, you know.
yeah,
It depends on if you
yeah,
sleep. It depends on like your
it's
stress.
true.
There's a lot of different factors I feel, but I feel like that's probably like one of the big, well, for myself, like the bigger mental battle that you go through.
Okay, nice, nice. All right, so last question, before we, plug your fight night, right? First of all, where can we watch your upcoming fight?
So I'm actually not sure yet because my first fight, like it was on
Yeah.
YouTube, but not really anyone knew where it was. So I guess it depends on where in the card I'm put. If it's like, I guess on the lower part of the card, it'll be on YouTube. And then if it's on the regular card, it'll be on Amazon Prime.
Okay, very cool. One fight night, July 14th, 2023. Last question. What does martial arts mean to you?
Um, so martial arts, I feel, is more of a way of life. It's not, like, I feel like competition and stuff gets in the way, but I feel like it's a way of life, and it's also an idea that you're dealing with, like, adversity at first. You're dealing with, like, adversity
Adversity,
and
yeah, for sure.
you're
Yeah.
overcoming it, whether it's on a daily basis or whether you're in a fight, in a competition, or in training, or just in general. I think that's one of the concepts of it. That's what you think.
All right, nice. Thank you so much for being
Oh,
on the show and taking the
thank you.
interview last minute. Yeah, thank you so much. Best of luck to you. We'll be rooting for you while you're competing. One Fight Night 12 on July 14th, 2023. You're fighting Amanda Tubby Alequin.
Oh,
Best of luck to you, and
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Appreciate it.